chamber of the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, where people come to plead their case and be heard, hoping for impartiality and freedom from personal biases. The weight of history is ever present in the moment. The air crackles with anticipation as the 9 justices take their seats, their black robes a solemn reminder of the power they wield. At the center, Chief Justice John Roberts sits poised, his sharp gaze fixed on the lone figure stepping forward, Congresswoman JASMINE CROCKETT, a firebrand known for her razor-sharp wit and unyielding resolve. The Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States is now in session. All rise.
Representative Crockett, your testimony thus far has been impassioned, but I must question whether your approach, your rhetoric, your demeanor is suited for the gravity of this court. Quite frankly, I find it unfit for these proceedings.
Chief Justice Roberts, with all due respect, I'm not here to perform for your approval. I'm here to speak truth to power, to represent the millions who don't have a seat in this room. If you find my passion unfit, then maybe it's the system that's unfit for the people it claims to serve.
This court is a place of reason, not theatrics. Your response only underscores my point. Passion is no substitute for precision, and your tone risks undermining the very cause you champion.
Precision? Let's talk about precision, Chief Justice. For decades, this court has precisely dismantled protections for the marginalized, voting rights, affirmative action, you name it. My tone isn't the problem. The problem is a system that calls justice theatrics when it's delivered by someone who looks like me.
You accuse this court of bias, yet you bring your own. Your generalizations about the system do little to advance the legal arguments before us. If you wish to be taken seriously, focus on the law, not on grandstanding.
Grandstanding? Chief Justice? I'm a black woman from Texas who's seen the law fail communities like mine time and again. I'm not here to recite statutes like a robot. I'm here to remind you that the law isn't just words on paper. It's people's lives. If that's grandstanding, then I'll stand on every stage I get.
Your personal experiences, while compelling, do not override the need for objectivity. This court interprets the Constitution, not public sentiment. Your role here is to provide testimony, not to lecture us on morality.
Objectivity. Let's not pretend this court is a vacuum. Every ruling you make reflects a choice about whose rights matter. You called me unfit. But what's unfit is a court that ignores the human cost of its decisions. I'm not lecturing. I'm testifying to the reality you don't see from that bench.
You speak of reality, but your rhetoric distorts it. This court has upheld the rule of law for centuries, often against public outcry. Your accusations of indifference are not only unfounded but disrespectful to the institution.
Disrespectful? Disrespect is telling a generation of voters their voices don't matter because of gerrymandered maps. Disrespect is upholding laws that disproportionately harm the poor, the black, the brown. If calling that out is disrespectful, then I'll wear that badge with pride.
You are entitled to your views, Representative, but this is not a soapbox. The law requires discipline, not defiance. If you cannot adhere to that, perhaps you are better suited to the campaign trail than this courtroom.
Disciplined? I've spent my life disciplined. Disciplined enough to rise from a community written off by people in power. Disciplined enough to earn a law degree. Disciplined enough to serve in Congress. Don't lecture me about discipline when this court's rulings have undisciplined the very democracy we're fighting for.
Let's return to the matter before us, the Voting Rights Act. Your testimony claims that current laws suppress minority voters. Can you provide specific evidence without the editorializing to support?
Gladly. In my district, polling places in Black and Latino neighborhoods were cut by 30% after the 2013 Shelby County decision. Wait times jumped to 3 hours in some areas, while wealthier white districts had no such issues. Voter ID laws in Texas disproportionately disqualify minority voters. Studies show Black and Latino voters are twice as likely to lack the required IDs. That's not coincidence. That's design. And before you say that's just Texas, look at Georgia, where new laws let partisan officials override election results. Look at Florida, where ex-felons are still fighting for their voting rights despite a referendum. This isn't about one state. It's a pattern, and this court's rulings have paved the way.
Those are serious claims, but they assume intent this court cannot adjudicate. Our role is to interpret the law as written, not to speculate on motives. The Shelby County decision, for instance, was grounded in the principle that federal oversight must reflect current conditions, not historical injustices.
Current conditions? Chief Justice. The ink wasn't dry on Shelby before states rushed to pass voter suppression laws. You call it principle. I call it a green light for discrimination. The Constitution you interpret was written by men who owned slaves. Don't tell me it's neutral when its application keeps silencing the same people it always has.
You impugn the Constitution itself. This document has endured because it adapts to the times through amendments and interpretation. To suggest it inherently oppresses is to dismiss the progress it has enabled.
Progress? Yes, we've had progress because people fought for it, bled for it, died for it. Not because the Constitution handed it to us. Every right Black people have in this country was won against the system, not because of it. Don't pat yourself on the back for a document that's only as good as the people interpreting it.
We are veering far from the case. Representative, your testimony is noted, but I urge you to focus on the legal arguments. Emotional appeals, however heartfelt, do not sway this court.
Emotional? Chief Justice, when people can't vote, that's not an emotion. That's a fact. When communities are gerrymandered into silence, that's not a feeling. That's a reality. If you think my truth is too emotional, maybe it's because you've never had to live it.
We will recess for 10 minutes.